Hi everyone, Kim here for Treasurely Kit Club. What I've got for you today is our August follow along, and I'm using the August scrapbook kit, which features papers from AB Studios, and it's their new Diva collection. And so we're going to be using just the scrapbook kit with a few essentials from my stash. This is something that if you've been a long time scrapbooker, it's something that you should have in your stash. It's nothing special. So you should be able to recreate this layout. I'm going to go through the steps. I've already done some pre-cutting, so you don't have to worry about watching me cut out some things, and I've kind of put stuff together, but it is by no means done. So we're going to go through this from start to finish, and we're going to recreate this layout. Like I said, just using the scrapbook kit and the contents from the scrapbook kit. And I'm going to go through the contents and let you know what we're going to be using before we get started, in case you want to follow along with me. So as you can see, I've got stuff already laid out, so I'm going to let you know what we are using. We are going to be using sheet number, see, I saved the tab for you. We're going to be using sheet number 2, and that's called Love on Top. So that's what that is. Sheet number 2, Love on Top. And we are using the A side of that. And also we are taking sheet number 7, which is Desire. And we are going to be cutting out the first 2 tags here. We are going to be cutting out a frame. We are going to be cutting out a clock, and I think that is all we cut out. Yes, we cut out 1 frame, we cut out a clock, and we cut out 2 tags from sheet number 7, Desire. And the sad part about that is I really like the back side of this sheet, so I'm going to have to go ahead and use this as layers on another layout. So those are the 2 sheets of paper that we've used. We are also using a couple of pieces from the ephemera pack. So we're using some pieces from here, not the stickers, and I will show you which pieces that we are using from the ephemera pack. We are using this little doodad here as a layer. We are using this little card here that says Laugh, and we are using this little doodad here that says Love Often. So those are the 3 pieces from the ephemera pack that we're going to be using. We are also going to be using the top flower from the pack of 6 Prima flowers, and that is the multicolored flower. So we're going to be using that. We're going to be using one of the keys. Now you can choose whichever one key you want, but this is the key that I chose. We are also going to be using some of the chipboard. We're going to be using this piece from the center and these 2 little drops from the end, so you can see that. We're going to be using 2 of the medium blue roses as well. So we just need 2 of those. And then we're going to be using the large purple flower and the smaller mauve flower. So that is everything that we're using from the kit. I did pull out one of my dies, just a little ornate die that I want to use. So if you've got dies in your stash that you want to use, you can go ahead and use that. Or you can just supplement this with another flower. I just chose to use a die, and I used just a piece of white cardstock to cut this out with. So that's something that you should have in your stash. I'm also going to be using some modeling paste and an old stencil from my stash. hopefully you got a stencil, any design that you like. I'm also going to be using a Lindy's Magical, and this is in the color Bayou Boogie Gold, and this is from a past mixed media kit. And if you get our scrapbook kits, I'm also going to be using one of the frames from last month's scrapbook kit, from July scrapbook kit. So that's everything that we're going to be using on the page, with the exception of C'est La Vie Chérie, and this is a blue, a soft blue embossing powder for the chipboard. So if I'm using embossing powder, I'm also using embossing fluid. That's all I'm using for that. And some clear gesso just to go over my paper, and I've got my adhesive and foam tape as well. So let's go ahead and jump into getting this layout. First I'm going to do is I'm just going to put down a thin layer of clear gesso on my paper. I like to do that if I'm going to use some modeling paste or anything on my paper. And it doesn't take long to dry. Like I said, I'm just doing a clear coat. And I may not even cover everything because I'm only going to be using the modeling paste in certain places. Now that is done. I'm going to set that out of the way, and actually I'm going to go back to our tray. And now what I'm going to do is I want to use my stencil with the modeling paste, but I want to turn my modeling paste gold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some modeling paste. I'm going to go ahead and put it into my tray. And I might have to do this a couple of times only because I'm not sure how much modeling paste I'm going to need. So I'm going to take my modeling paste, and then I'm going to go ahead and take my Magicals, and I'm going to take some. I'm going to take about that much. I'm going to add it to my modeling paste, and then I'm going to stir. There's our color. And now what I'm going to do is, our paper's all dry, and I kind of have an idea as to where my focal point's going to be, and I know that in the center that's going to be covered, so I'm going to do my modeling paste kind of near the top and then the sides and down on the bottom where it will show. And that will save me on having to make extra. So I'm going to take so we'll leave it at that. Oh, I forgot my bucket. I normally have a bucket of water to toss my mat into, but I forgot it. So we'll set that to the side. And then I'm going to go ahead and dry this, so I'll just kind of fast forward through. Okay, we're going to set that aside and let it dry some more. But this is what we're looking like. And I'm happy with it. The one thing that you'll notice is your Magicals, before you mix it in, are pretty shimmery. But once you mix it in with your modeling paste, it's going to lose that shimmer. So just so you're aware of that. But we're going to set that aside and let it dry some more. And what we're going to do is we're going to move on to our chipboard. And we're going to go ahead and emboss that while that dries, so we'll have it out of the way. And I'm just using my dabber on my embossing ink. And as you can see, because we hit it with that clear gesso, that ink did not settle in. So I've got time. And I'm using a blue. We've got some blues in this, and I'm using just like a baby blue. And there we have it. It looks kind of white in here because it's such a soft blue, but that is it. And it's got a little shimmer to it. And alrighty, so we are all done with our embossing powder, our modeling paste, our magicals, and our embossing ink. Now let's get down to getting this layout put together, because we should be dry enough with our modeling paste that we can go ahead and get things started. Now, here's a little tip. You probably already thought of it, but just in case, what I did was, right before I took everything off the page, I grabbed my little phone and I took a picture of my layout. And now I can't find it. But what you do is take a picture of your layout so that you know where everything goes. And then that way you go back to your layout, and once you got your background all set up, you start building your layout. Oh, obviously my picture didn't take, so we're just going to have to wing it here. I've got a good idea, and what you want to do is you want to start building layers. I've got my little foam tape tabs here, and you want to start putting your stuff down. And I know that was there, that was there, and there. And we had this back here, and we had our little frame kind of here, and we had our picture kind of like that. So that's where I started off, and that's where we're going to build from. Now I got to decide what layers I want higher up and what layers I want lower. First of all, I realized that's a little high than I had it, so I'm going to bring it down some to about there. I'm happy with that. I got my little embossing showing there. I've got some showing there. I'm happy with what's showing. And I think what I want to do is I'm going to take these two tags and I want to staple them together. So I'm going to pull out my little Tim Holtz stapler. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to staple these two together. And I'm going to do it like right here where they won't be seen. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some foam tape to it. And I'm going to add the foam tape right in the middle, just in case I want to add some stuff beneath it. So I don't want that foam tape to block access to beneath it. So that's going to be a layer that I'm going to have higher. And I know that's going to go kind of right there. So this frame I'm going to go ahead and glue down. So there we have it. I left a little space right here for a title. I am really bad at titles, so I will end up adding probably a chipboard title later on when I come up with something. But for right now, this is what we have. This has been our follow along using just the scrapbook kit contents and a few essentials or basics from my stash, something that you should have in your everyday stash, or if you're a subscriber, these are some things that we've gotten just from last month's kit or just a past kit that you should still have. And thank you for following along with me. This has been our layout. Let's get some close-ups so you can see our stenciling and embossing. Now, don't forget to stop by the website at www.trejoliekits.com, where you can pick up this August kit or even some of our past kits. We have a cards, tags, and more kit, we have a scrapbook kit, and we have a mixed media kit, and we try to do something each month with all of those kits. So if this is your first time here, make sure you hit the subscribe button below and the little bell, and you'll be notified every time we upload a video. And again, this has been Kim for Trejolie Kit Club. Thank you for joining us. Bye.